Hello dears, good morning. It's me, Miss Lincy, your English teacher. Nice to meet you again. Okay, now, welcome to the world of English. So, before we begin, let's ask the blessings from God the Almighty so that let His Holy Spirit enlighten us, help us, and guide us through. Dear children, today we are going to study a new chapter from our course book, Honeysuckle. A different kind of school penned down by E.V. Lucas, who was born on 11th June 1868 in London. He was an English poet, short story writer, novelist, essayist, and an editor. Now, I will introduce you to the chapter. The chapter, A Different Kind of School, is a short but meaningful and thought-provoking story which makes us think about the troubles faced by the differently abled people. Children, can you think of a life without seeing this beautiful world? Or without listening to the soothing music? Oh, never. We can't think it of, right? So, children, have you ever thought how blessed we are being born as a normal human being? So, we should be grateful to God that He created us with lots of blessings. Now, let's move on to the detailed summary of the chapter. The chapter starts with the narrator's visit to Miss Beam's school. He had heard a lot about Miss Beam's school. So, when the narrator reached the school, there was no one but a girl about 12 years whose eyes were covered with a bandage and a small boy carefully leading her between the flower buds. When the girl heard the footsteps of the narrator, she stopped for a while and asked the boy who the person was. And the boy explained the visitor's details to her, and then they passed on. Miss Beam was exactly like the narrator had expected her. Middle-aged, little dominating but friendly and understanding. It seemed that she was in her 50s, that her hair was turning grey. She was little fat and was very loving, that she could comfort her children whoever felt homesick. Then the narrator asked her about her teaching methods, which he had heard were very simple. So, Miss Beam told the narrator that they taught their children simple spellings, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and writing skills. The rest of the learning was done by reading to them and conducting interesting talks, during which they had to sit silently and thus taught them discipline. Further, she said the narrator that the actual aim of her school was to teach them thoughtfulness, that is, to be kind to others and being responsible citizens. Then she asked the narrator to look out of the window. So the narrator looked out and saw a beautiful ground and many cheerful children. And then the narrator tells what he could see on the ground. He could see many cheerful children. He was sad to notice some children who were not very healthy and active. He observed two more children who had trouble with their eyes. Then he noticed a girl with a crutch who was watching the other children at play. All these sights pained him a little, and he thought that the girl was lame. So, Miss Beam laughed and said the narrator that the girl was not lame, rather it was her lame day. The other two girls are not blind, but are observing their blind day. And Miss Beam laughed again, seeing the narrator so astonished. And then Miss Beam explained that they have made such activities as an essential part of their system to make their children to accept and understand the misfortunes in their life. Each term, every child is supposed to observe one blind day, one lame day, one deaf day, one injured day, and one dumb day. On blind day, their eyes are bandaged, and this bandage is put on overnight, so they wake up blind. Other children have the duty to help and guide them. This way, both the blind and the helpers learn a lot of things. Then she continues telling that these types of games make children responsible, even a very careless child. The blind day was the worst, but according to some children, the dumb day was the most difficult, as mouths could not be bandaged. The children had to use their willpower in that case. Then she took him to the garden to let him to watch the children and to know their feelings himself. Miss Beam took the narrator to the bandaged girls, and after introducing to them, she left them. So the narrator asked the girl if she ever tried to look out. And the girl replied that it would be cheating if she do so. She told the narrator that the blind day was the hardest because the movement became very difficult. The blind always worried about getting hurt. Just sitting down was a comfort. The narrator further asked her if her helpers were kind to her. She answered that they were very kind, but she would be better helper doing her turn. According to her opinion, people who had experienced the blindness become better helpers. And then the narrator asked her if he could lead her for some time. And they went for a little walk, and she said him that she would be full of joy once the blind day is over. And she told that having a leg tied up and hopping about on a crutch is almost fun, but Having an arm tied up is little more troublesome because they needed someone else's help to have their food. Then she said that she would not mind to be deaf for a day. And then the narrator told her that they were in the playground and were walking towards the house. Miss Beam was walking up and down the garden with a tall girl. So, the little girl asked the narrator what dress that the tall girl was wearing. He said, "It's a blue cotton skirt and a pink blouse." And she inquired the color of her hair and guessed the girl to be Millie, the head girl. Then the narrator told her that an old man was tying up roses, to which she said that he was Peter, 100-year-old gardener. Then a girl with curly red hair on crutches crossed, so she told that she was Anita. When it was time to leave the school, the narrator realized that he has become more thoughtful and sensitive towards the issues of disability. And Miss Beam proudly said that the system of her school was so special and unique that the visitors also feel it so. Children, hope you could follow me. So now it's time to wind up the session today. I request all of you to like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.